Hey, everybody. We've got Ken and Kenrick and Ken, the two Kens, I say. But we're going to be talking about cyber insurance today. They're from RB Cyber, and they've got an incredible solution in the insurance game for cybersecurity. And we're here to kind of explain that a little bit and go a little bit deeper so you can understand, like, this is not your average policy. First of all, Ken and Ken, how are you guys doing?
We're doing great, Julian.
Hey,
Thanks
thanks.
for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
All right. So let's just get the broad strokes here. What exactly does RB Cyber offer in cyber insurance?
Okay. Well, we offer a $1 million policy that covers all your cyber needs for insurance. I know it's very easy to access. That's one of the things that we've tried to develop. Go on the website. It's easy to access. We have a tremendous claims response team. It's a 1-800 number. Click, everyone jumps into action. We look after any breach you may have. We have it priced competitively, and we think we've addressed most of the issues that most of your MSPs have brought to our attention.
So let's break this down a little bit.
Sure.
So let's talk about, first of all, how do they go about getting a policy in the first place? So it's all online. They go online, they click a button, they fill in the form, right? Mm-hmm. It spits back a quote. Then what happens?
Yeah, I'll jump in there. That's a great question, because one of the complaints that we've been having from a lot of prospective policyholders is the complexity around the application. Dozens and dozens of pages, half of the questions to which they don't know the answer. They have to source these answers from multiple places. So to simplify that, what we've done is that we've put the application online, and we've condensed it down to the minimum core risk rating questions that need to be asked to determine qualification for a policy. So the applicant would simply go to our website, rb-cyber.com, click on the Apply Now button. They'll be presented with a form. They go through, they put the applicant information, the company information, answer the risk questions, and they submit the application. They will immediately be underwritten and then presented with a price for the policy, a competitive price for the policy, I should say. Mm-hmm. They are then given the option to accept that quote, and then they can immediately pay for it with a major credit card. Once the credit card is issued, once the credit card authorization is issued, they'll have their policy bound and issued, and they'll receive information on the policy. And they'll also get the two pieces of risk reduction software that we're partnered with. They'll also get their tenant licenses for NewShield and Watchdog. So it's all online. It's all automated. If for any reason their application needs further scrutiny, they will be referred. They're not going to be declined right away. They will be referred, and then one of our policy administration folks will follow up, because then a human underwriter will need to take a look at the policy and then make a determination. But everything is centralized through the portal. It's all online. It's simple and insufficient.
Let's put a pause there. So easy peasy right now, right? And yeah. So once they've gone through the process, now they've got this policy up and running, mm-hmm. and then they're released. They get notified, or they're sent these two applications, right? That's going to help them to kind of like maintain and monitor their cybersecurity posture. Let's just talk a bit about that. What are they, and what's the process involved in them deploying that?
So what drove us there is looking at the cybersecurity continuum, if you will, in terms of reducing risk, maintaining resiliency across the enterprise, so that the company can focus on their core business, and then positioning themselves to be able to respond and recover in case there is an incident. So at the front end, what we've done is we partnered with a company called Watchdog Security, and they provide proactive cyber defense, human risk monitoring, and ongoing compliance for the company, in this case, the policyholder. At the back end, in terms of response and recovery, one of the biggest threats today is ransomware. So what we've done is we partnered with a company out of Silicon Valley called NewShield. NewShield has a patented technology called mirror shielding. And what it does, it puts a veneer or an abstraction layer, or some people refer to as maybe just like a sheet of plexiglass, in front of your data that effectively prevents your data from being encrypted, and in the wake of a ransomware incident can easily recover the data very, very quickly. So that's what we've done in terms of reducing the overall loss ratio and reducing risk for the policyholder by partnering at the front end in terms of reducing risk and maintaining resiliency for the company with Watchdog, and then positioning for quick response and recovery with New Shield.
So this is kind of how you're able to, I guess, convince the underwriter to give you the best rates, because you're just not writing a policy, and hoping for the best. You're actually implementing some tools there to kind of protect, the company, the customer, if you will, from having this problem in the first place, right? Because the game is prevent breaches from happening, period, right? Because that's the best way to maintain the best policy, but also, making sure you don't start paying a lot of money for renewals. But more importantly, you could stay in business. You don't have to go out of business. And we all know the stats is pretty dismal. So I get it. So fantastic. So it's very easy to kind of get on board, to get the quote and to execute it. And then you've got these additional 2 layers of security that you deploy at the customer level, so it can maintain their security posture and prevent further breaches, right? More breaches. But now I want to talk about worst case scenario here. So I've got the policy. I'm whatever months or years into it, and for whatever reason, all hell breaks loose. The hackers figured out a way. Now I'm breached, and I got a bit of a problem. What do I do? Do I call 911? Like, what do I do, man?
Yeah, you call the 1-800 number that gets you back up and running. Our underwriter is Lloyd's of London, and we have a terrific claims format with them. Everything is done and handled by the 1-800 number. You'll be assigned a breach coach, a real claims coach to work your way through whatever it is that's happened to your business, and just, I'm not saying put your feet up and relax and let them handle it all. You've got to get involved, but it's an instant response, and nothing but the best experts that we have on available. And maybe, Kenrick, you can go over the type of claims that they would be looking at to help them with.
Yeah, absolutely. In the wake of a breach, you're looking at remediation. It's about how'd they get in? Are they still in? How can we prevent them from getting back in, right? And that's really the core of incident remediation, where if you're the business owner that's just become the victim, it's kind of like that proverbial chicken with the head cut off. In the absence of an incident response plan, you have no idea what you're doing. If you're covered with the policy, regardless of having the incidents plan or not, the claims process triggers an entire team in different categories. So you have access to resources with digital forensics, breach response, crisis management, PR, breach counsel, forensic accounting. And as Ken mentioned, a breach coach is assigned. A breach coach is a lawyer who is trained in trust and privacy and cyber. And it's always about protecting privilege. I mean, if you're a company that has some really sophisticated intellectual property, or you have patents that are pending, you want to be able to protect that, especially in the wake of a breach. So if you're a policyholder with RB Cyber and you hold the Cyber Secure Plus policy, you have access to some top tier resources in terms of digital forensics. I mean, we're talking the cream of the crop. We're talking CrowdStrike. We're talking Mandiant. We're talking some of the top firms across North America in terms of breach coaches. So you have access to quality resource on a timely basis, on top of already having good digital resources that you already have with the policy. Just because you're able to recover the data, that may not resolve all the answers. That may not answer, are they still in the system? How can we prevent them from getting back in the system? Recovering your data is great. But when these teams come in, they do all of those things and quickly get you back to left of that proverbial boom, get you back up and running. statistically, you mentioned it, Julian, 60% of businesses go out of business within 6 months of a breach. You don't want to become a statistic. Holding this policy really strengthens your chances of maintaining your business and continuing operations in the wake of a breach.
I definitely want to double click on this because I think it's actually critical, maybe the most important part of the entire policy period. And that is, it's really cool you have a policy, but like you align it to, if you have a house insurance policy and your house burns down, right, for whatever reason, right? Let's hope you didn't burn your own house down. But if it was an accident, what happens? You got a claims adjuster comes in there, finds you a new place, gets you hooked up in some whatever hotel or whatever, gets you your necessities, and they start the process of rebuilding over time, right? Mm-hmm. And their job is to get you back up and running with the same house or better than what you had before, so you can move back in there as quickly as you possibly can, right? And that's the name of the game. And I think people don't maybe understand that with this cyber insurance policy, this is exactly what we're doing, right? You have the policy. If you do get breached, there's a team of people that's assigned to the case, and their job is to figure out what happened, fix it, get the bad actors out of there, get you recovered, and make sure it's not going to happen again, right? So you want to make sure you've got that team, and that team is provided by the insurer, right? And it's included in your policy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of things that make cyber insurance different than other traditional property and casualty type of insurance, because of its complexities, because of its, it's newer in the longer history of insurance, but fundamentally it's the same. You don't really use it until you actually need it. Yeah. But when you need it, you can call the claim number and the team kicks into action right away, and you get immediate support to, again, figure out how they get in, are they still in, how can we prevent them from getting back in, get you back to the left of the boom, get you up and running, and save your business.
So what I'm hearing here, right, so far, just to kind of like summarize this before we talk a little bit about how the MSPs can play a role in this, right? One, to really get your policy, it's all online, so it's truly easy peasy. I don't even know if it's possible to get it easier than this. Yeah. Once that's done, you get the quote, you click yes, you pay your money, boom, you're good. We move on to the next phase, right? And once you're in the system, right, you now get a couple of other pieces of software that actually helps you to up your cybersecurity posture, because the game here is to reduce the risk of you getting breached. That's the bottom line. And so you've got two really cool layers of solutions that's going to help reduce that risk anyways, regardless, by the way, of whatever cybersecurity posture technology stack you've got right now. This is on top of all this, right? So it's more. And the third thing is like, well, if something does hit the proverbial fan and you've got to pull a trigger, it's a 1-800 number gig. You call one number and a team jumps into action, takes care of the problem, manages the issues, bring the team together, solve the problem. And the goal is to get you back up and running fast, right? And fast as possible, because they also don't want to pay too much as well. And you don't want your company to be offline too much as well, because, you can get into serious business problems. So we've got that roadmap, and that for me is as good as it's ever going to get. Now let's jump to the fourth thing, which is the MSP community.
Just quickly on your second point. That was a great summary with those 3 points, but just a quick add on to the second point regarding the software. These two partners were selected strategically. And again, we took a look at the continuum in terms of risk reduction, resiliency, and response and recovery. We get a lot of questions and queries about software conflicting with existing stacks, existing cybersecurity programs within different MSPs or within different end user customers. The reality is that these two software tools are complementary. They don't conflict, they're complementary. Watchdog is built on a read-only architecture, which makes it incredibly secure. There's no footprint in terms of memory overhead on an endpoint, a server, or anything else like that. And New Shield is very similar. It requires a small piece of software to be running in terms of an agent so we can monitor and be able to trigger in case there's an encryption event, an encryption incident, I should say. But these tools are very, very complementary and not conflicting, so they can slide right in to, I would argue, virtually any existing software technology security stack.
It's a great point, because I mean, we're not just adding 2 layers of software security for fun, right there, but well thought out to help prevent you from getting a breach, right?
Well,
and that's the one thing they do, right? They encrypt your data, and if you could prevent them from encrypting your data, you're kind of like halfway home, right? Yeah, Ken, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I mean, with including these 2 softwares, we're able to keep the pricing very low because obviously they are loss prevention tools, and the underwriter is happy to have those tools in there. And I was just going to mention, like, if you were to buy them separately as not part of the package, they would be very expensive. But we've been able to negotiate a very excellent price on both packages, so that the total package, insurance, including those 2 products, it's extremely competitive. So
it's a good point, Ken, because the price of your premiums includes this, correct?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's not something you're buying extra, right?
Yep. No, the price you get on the website when your price comes back, it includes those 2 softwares.
Yeah. So you're getting the best insurance premium, and you're getting the software baked into it.
Exactly.
You want to up the price here? I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the mottos is spend less, protect more, right?
Yeah,
well, there you go.
Spend less, protect more.
It's smart business, because if you prevent, people from getting hacked and ransomware, right? Then obviously you can maintain a lower premium. That's the whole name of the game, right? Yeah. So let's go to the fourth part of this conversation here, which is how does the MSPs get into the game? And I want to break this down in two parts, right? The MSPs, they're going to help their customers to get insurance because it's a good thing anyways. And by the way, if your customers have insurance and they do get breached, it's a pretty good way for them to say, hey, I may not go out of business. So you can actually have a customer, maintain post breach, right? But there's another benefit here about how the software can actually help the MSPs to kind of get a bit of a deeper dive and understanding of what's going on. Kenrick, maybe you can let's start with the part where the software tools that you're embedded now is going to actually help the MSPs to understand the footprint and where things are missing, gaps, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, obviously we'd like every MSP in North America to have the product themselves. But let's say the scenario was that, MSP A had 100 customers, half their customers had the policy. What MSP A would also get would be a MSP module where they can actually monitor the tool being used at all of their customers. This type of visibility not only gives them some insight into what's going on from a cybersecurity risk perspective with all of their customers, it can also potentially identify some gaps and thereby give the MSP potential opportunities for doing additional business with their customers. So they get that with both. There's an MSP portal for New Shield, and there's an MSP portal that's available for Watchdog. So both Watchdog and New Shield will provide the MSP with visibility and insight into their customers. And here's the big thing. It's free. The MSPs don't have to pay for it. They just get it.
This is the thing with these where we're moving towards, right, is trying to simplify the cyber insurance game, but baking in so much value that it becomes an absolute no-brainer of which insurance policy you go with. Because now from an MSP perspective, right, they're getting a dashboard that's going to look at an independent, unbiased, agnostic, third-party, other pair of eyes, looking at their cybersecurity posture and giving them indications of where maybe they're having gaps and weaknesses. And why is that important? Yeah, maybe for more investment, to make a little bit more money to protect the clients. But the bottom line here is that the MSP can protect their customers so much better that the probability of having, an attack and a ransomware problem, an incident, just goes really, really low, right? And because of that, you're protecting your customer. They're going to love you, and you're going to have that customer to keep paying that bill, right? So it's mission critical. The game here is about who can keep their customers up and running and alive the longest. That's the one who wins, right? And if you can get the recovery faster, well, that's mission critical, because if it's not fast, then it's long, and that's bad news. So let's go over to the other part. So again, this is a really great benefit for MSPs, and I hope they listen up, because this may be one of the biggest things for them. The other part of that, or part two of that chat there, is about, as an MSP, why the hell do I care about giving cyber insurance or telling my customers about cyber insurance? And I just want to kick off this by saying this. All your customers hopefully have insurance policies, but we know for cyber, it's not the majority that have them right now, right? So they're not quite insured. And what does that mean? For you as an MSP, believe it or not, if your customer does not have a cybersecurity policy, you are at risk of losing that customer. Forget about all the legalities and all that stuff, right? If you lose your customer because of a cyber incident, right, you don't get to bill that customer. They may not be around. They may be going insolvent, right? So you have to protect that customer. And so the fact of just simply ensuring, asking, maybe starting there, do you have a cyber insurance policy? You don't, or you do? And if it do, is it a great one? What's the premium cost? And do a little bit of comparisons. And if you don't, I have an option for you to check it out, and allow the customer to make that decision, to look to see what could happen. The worst case is they look at it and they go, yeah, I got roughly the same policy and same premiums. Congratulations, you win. It may also be, I checked it out and oh my God, it's 50% cheaper than what I have right now, right? So you're saving the customers money. What does that do for your reputation? And it's not just saving your customers money because you want to go cheap on the policy. This is not a cheap policy, right? You're getting an A team that's backing it, right? If you do get an incident. So you get all the other benefits that helps you as an MSP, but also if there's a breach, you as the MSP are not alone in dealing with this breach. Can you imagine if your customer is calling you, hey, Jane, Frank, my systems are down. What do I do? What do you do as an MSP? Now you have an 800 number that you can call to help them facilitate this. I mean, what do I say? Why do I think that's important? I just want to say that's priceless. From an MSP's perspective, being able to activate an incident response team for your customers if they get a breach, I mean, gee, I'd say that's pretty cool. So I went in there a little bit deeper because that's the part where I really see the connection of why the MSPs is the connector of this cyber insurance game. But I'll let you guys take it away. What else did I miss there?
Interestingly enough, at the last convention conference that you had, we were speaking to one of your MSPs who said he would not take on a new customer if they didn't have proof of cyber insurance. So I mean that's the way it's going now. It really just, you say, keep your customer in business. You don't want to lose your customers for that and the hassle, because the MSP is going to be the first one they call, right? And now you've got the 800 number here. Call this number. I just wanted to touch on another point. When we did talk to the MSPs, one of the hesitations they had about pushing cyber insurance was their involvement and the time it takes and how complicated some of it is. But we have like a 1-minute video that we can send to the MSP. We have a 1-pager that outlines all the coverage and all the benefits of the policy. And really all the MSP has to do is send this to their client, every one of their clients, saying, I recommend that you look at this, I recommend you get cyber insurance. And then once they do that, it's up to the client to go online and get the quote and the policy. So we've really taken away that that hassle from the MSP to get involved in it. It's merely just a send out to their clients with all the material that we can provide.
It's a no-brainer. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys have thought about this from soups to nuts, if there's such
Yeah.
a word, right? I mean, you've really gone through the process, and you didn't just build this overnight, right? You took a long time to kind of get it right.
We
You
did.
spoke to a lot of MSPs, a lot of customers. You figured out all the problems and challenges, and you measured many times before you cut. And it's taken a bit of a journey to kind of get there. I'm sure along the journey you were like, it was painful, but you got here. And so, as of now, right now, today, every MSP can benefit from that hard work, right? You
Absolutely.
built it. All they've got to do is click and go. So, I'll let you wrap it up here, Kenrick and Ken. What did I forget to ask a question that I should have maybe asked?
No, I think we've covered quite a bit. I mean, from an MSP perspective, without pointing fingers, that's your job. Your job is to care for the technology infrastructure and data security needs of your customer so that they can make widgets, they can manufacture whatever product they're manufacturing, they can do sales and marketing, they can do whatever their core competence of their business is. This is a tool that will help you do your job better for yourself as an MSP, and equally, if not more important, for the many customers that you have in, across various industry sectors. We've come across several potential customers that says, well, I have a special account and I'm going to self-insure. I'm going to put aside money just in case.
Oh boy.
History has shown that there has never been anyone in terms of a company who has been the victim of a breach and has been able to sort of predict what the cost of that breach would be. The cost of dealing with a cyber attack can run out of control very, very easily, unless you have the security of knowing that there is a policy in place, that you're covered, that if something does happen, when something does happen, you can call a single number, you can engage a highly skilled team of professionals to come and restore your data, get your company back up and running, get your business back up and running. It's really tough to put a price on that. So at the end of the day, it's the right move for MSPs. It's the right move for MSP customers, and it puts you ahead of the curve because there's a lot that's happening with the various bills in Canada that are going through Parliament right now. That's going to change the landscape and change the benchmark for who will be considered for bids, for tenders, and different things like that. So there's going to be a compliance issue. There's going to be a value add to say, yeah, we're compliant with all of these regulations. We're insured by a top tier cyber insurance product. You're the company that's going to get and maintain the business. So a lot to think about. It's the right decision. It's the right choice. It's being proactive about protecting customer data. And it's the right thing to do and at the end of the day, it benefits the economy of the country as well in the big picture.
Absolutely. So, I mean, wrapping this up here, for me, it's very simple, right? It's like as an MSP, your job is to keep your customers alive, all right? And that's it. I mean, that's the bottom line. And if they're happy and alive, you win double, right? The reality here is that, like a doctor, right? A GP, right? You give some meds to your patients, your clients, whatever, your patients, and you keep them healthy. And then once in a while, they need maybe some emergency, and that's when you need that policy, and that emergency gets them recovered better, so you can continue, maintaining their health moving forward. So you can put whatever analogy you want here, my friend, but the bottom line here is that MSPs need to keep their customers alive and well and healthy because for a selfish economical reason. But the benefits of this is just everywhere because it keeps the economy going. It keeps people surviving, the employees of these companies, and keep a job. There's a lot riding on this, my friend. And I think it's just a pretty simple decision to make sure at the very least they have cyber insurance and do a little bit due diligence to see if they got the right one. And as Julian, I'm telling you, I think this is the right one. So sounds good, and hopefully you can jump in there.
All right.
Ken and Ken, anything else? What's the website address, by the way? We should maybe add that.
But yeah.
It's www.rb-cyber.com.
There you go. We'll drop it in a link too, just in case.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Take care, man. Keep up the great work. We'll
Great.
talk again about what's going on, and we'll see you around. Cheers.
Okay. Thanks, Julian.